If you guys enjoy the content on my art videos, you can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Odyssey. You can also find me on TikTok as well. Okay, with that said, let's see what we can learn today. Hello everybody, I'm back with another speed sketch again, like last time. It seems like you guys actually enjoyed those more than the actual long ones, so I might do something with this more on YouTube than the others. But right now we're just going to focus on pretty much just the perspective. And I had this conversation on my live stream with some viewers, and they was having a hard time with this. I was meaning to do a video on horizon lines and 1-point perspective and 2-point perspective, but I rather just did like the more eyeballing thing, because I don't really need those things just to make a perspective look the way it does. But if you want to be more accurate, I do suggest looking at things like that with a horizon line and 1-point perspective and all that great stuff. But as you can see here, I did something with a samurai type of dummy. I didn't go in full detail in them. I just wanted to give my ultimate perspective on that. And then I moved on with something more of a selfie type position in that sense, because that's something that's most common that most people like seeing. I didn't put a lot of detail. I'm just letting you know. This is mostly based on just eyeballing it, because after times of practice, you will have a good understanding on how perspective may or may not work, and what you should look for and what not to look for. Mainly when you're doing any type of perspective, always remember, if you want the subject to come at you full force, or at least come at you in a like more of a close-up type of thing, make sure that the subject is bigger than everything else in the object. Like for instance, I made the arm here much bigger than the body itself, because it seemed like it's coming at you. Everything else gets smaller, so always remember that. The smaller the object is, the further away it is. The closer it is, the bigger it will be. So always look out for things like that, and that's something that you should always practice when it comes to perspective. But I suggest always learn 1-point, 2-point, and 3-point perspective. I will do a video on that very soon, maybe next week or so, but I need to plan out this stuff much more easily for myself so I can have something more constructed for this. But mainly I'm only doing this because of holiday reasons, so that's why I'm doing the speed sketch than the traditional way of doing things and all that great stuff. But as you can see, perspective is very important, but you have to be very cognizant of where the camera is leading. I have some recommendations in the descriptions if you guys want to check that out. I think I'm going to put like someone like modern day James. He explains this a lot more proficiently than I do, so that's something that you guys should check out in the descriptions below. Well, in this one, I tried to do something with a kicking motion based on the reference I was using, but I eventually just like was not liking it or not really feeling it very much. I do would like to give this information on, if you're having trouble with a pose and it's really frustrating you, do a different pose. There's nothing wrong with coming back to it later, but just don't frustrate yourself all day on one pose, because all you're just going to do is burn out yourself, and then you're going to put yourself in a negative spot and or position when that is happening, and you do not want that. On this reference here, I actually use a Hero Academia reference of Froppy from My Hero Academia pretty much, and it was an awesome pose actually. I think I made the hands a little goofy looking, to be honest, but I was not really focused on the whole hand thing, even though you guys know how much I hate drawing hands. It is my mortal enemy on that. But the overall wanting on this reference is that you want it to be as exaggerated as possible, but without distorting it too much, because when you have too much distortion, I think that's where it loses its overall concept, and it kind of pulls away from the idea of the reference, and that can get frustrating. So you should always take your time and do these type of things. Unlike this one, I did a lot of fast drawing, not really thinking about it type of stuff, and even though the drawing is doing what it's supposed to do, it's not where I want to be because I think I made her butt a little bit too big on that note. So that's something I did kind of messed up on my part at the end. I'm so sorry about that, guys. And that great stuff. Now on this reference here, this is more like an individual who's like more on the floor, like pleading, or who's like kneeling on the floor, realizing of another person in front of them. So what I did is make the subject smaller. See that? I made the subject smaller, and then I made the individual bigger, even though the individual is not bigger than the person that's actually on the floor. It's just that because I made him smaller, him being small makes it much easier to make it seem like he's further away. Just to let you know, I'm using mainly references just to give my videos that quick pull, so I don't have to think anything off the fly. I do suggest learn from reference and try to see if you can memorize it as best as you can. That does help with memory and your visual library and stuff like that. But it'll teach you how not to always be so reliant on reference, even though I do preach about reference isn't cheating. It's not. It's just if you trace it and then play it off as yours, that's where it's wrong. Villains do that. I always say that in every time in my videos. So just to let you guys know, nothing's wrong with reference. Use reference as much as possible if that helps you, but I suggest always try to use it without if you don't have to, just to see how far you can go without actually using reference. And then in this same reference, I put a horizon line to give it more of that depth look, that the person's more further away and stuff like that. So in next video, I'll make sure to have horizon lines and the vanishing point. But with that said, guys, I thank you so much for watching this. I'll see you next one.